What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got another edition of The Drive-In, where I review recent movies that just came out in theaters or came out very recently, and I talk to you guys about whether they're worth watching right away, worth waiting for, or worth skipping altogether. Today I've got a pretty well-acclaimed horror film for 2019 that was released this year, I think back in March, called The Hole in the Ground. Before I get to review The Hole in the Ground on today's Drive-In, I want to let you guys know that I've got all kind of articles up on PopHorrorcom. I'm doing movie journalism, retrospectives, editorials, reviews, and stuff like that on PopHorrorcom. So if you guys want to see my Wes Craven retrospective for his birthday, my Halloween full review calling it the best sequel of all time, most recently my Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark review about why I think it worked and why I loved it so much, among many other things, indie reviews, different stuff like that, along with a bevy of other talented writers as well. Go check out PopHorror.com, and if you guys want to research my stuff in particular, my name is Jason Burke, that's Jasonburke. Type me in the search bar, you'll find my Scary Stories review and a bunch of other stuff as well. But as far as today's review of The Drive-In, we've got 2019's The Hole in the Ground, directed by Lee Cronin, written by Cronin and Stephen Shields, and starring Sayana Kerslake and James Quinn Markey. The Hole in the Ground, and I will give this as a spoiler-free review at first, and then at the end of the video I will go into spoilers, so you guys can watch this freely first, and then I will tell you when I'm going to start doing spoilers. This is a story about a mother who goes off with her son to go into a new house and get a fresh start on life, and she comes to find out that there's a hole in the ground, a big gigantic sinkhole that might be a little bit dangerous. And we come to find out as the child gets involved with that, and some of the neighbors give their backstories, that her family could be in some trouble. So it is a mix of paranormal, kind of supernatural horror, mixed with child horror. And if this whole fresh start, evil child kind of thing sounds familiar, it is because it has been done a million times before. But I was drawn to this because everybody said it was very unique take on the genre. And I've got to say, it was fairly unique. This was definitely a trope that's been done a million times in the past, but it was done with a little bit of fresh eyes. Cinematography-wise, it was pretty solid up until the end. I would say the first 3/4 of this movie was shot beautifully. A nice forest, good-looking hole in the ground, so to speak. Good locations, kind of gave you an open air but still closed off from the world kind of feel. House in the forest kind of thing. Had kind of the slow burn thing, which I kind of like, The Shining, Babadook, especially with the mom, with the child, having kind of the accents, having the slower pacing. It definitely had a Pet Sematary meets Babadook meets The Shining kind of descent into slow burn madness thing going on. And I'm making it sound a little better than it actually was. This has a lot of tropes from really good movies like Pet Sematary, Babadook, stuff like that, but it's done in a way that is not as fresh as those, and I think is not as paced as well as those. So it's hard to kind of talk about this without getting into spoilers. There's a good soothsayer character, an old lady neighbor kind of sees some evil coming and warns the mother of this. Some of the really positive things, aside from cinematography, aside from music, are the acting overall. The acting of Sayana Kerslake, I hope I'm not butchering her name. She was a very good, convincing mother lead in this, and the connection with her and James Quinn Markey. James Quinn Markey played Chris. He was the child in this, and to have a good child horror, you got to have a creepy child, and James Quinn Markey was phenomenal. He, and the acting in general, was the shining point of this film. Believable, some good long takes, some good tension building as the kid starts to have some problems, and there are some good things going on where you don't know if she's crazy, if there are dream sequences, how much of this is in her mind, and how much of this is being built by the child. So, good acting and good tension, those are the biggest strong points of the film. The weak points to me, number one, the ending took me out of this film. The last 15 minutes are shot entirely in the dark. There's kind of a cave-like feel to it at the end. They want you to feel claustrophobic and feel like you don't know what's coming ahead of you, but it's done in such a way, that it's shot so dark that you can't see anything. It's tiring. It makes my eyes personally tired. When you've got a movie that is entirely shot in a cave-like feel, I just get sleepy and I get uninterested and I start looking at my phone, and that's what I did. by the time in the end of the film, when you should be reaching the climax and be invested in what the finish is, you don't care anymore. So the ending took me out of this. I had a much higher grade on this film for the first hour and 15 minutes, and the last 15 minutes just seemed to really take me out because of the way that it was shot, the lighting and the cinematography. But also the pacing is hit or miss. There are moments in this film that are very good and very tense, like I said, in the strengths, but sometimes in this film it also gets a little dull, and the slow pacing kind of hurts it as well. So, which shows a lot of promise and a lot of strong acting and a lot of unique takes on the whole supernatural child horror thing, also kind of falls back into old tropes and gets a little lazy at times. So it's a little disjointed. So overall, I would give this film a 5 out of 10. Certainly not bad, certainly creative, intense at times, but also, again, some of the shooting and some of the tropes and ways they do it get a little lazy for me. So 5 out of 10, not a bad film by any means, but certainly not one of the best of 2019, like some others have said it was. Getting into spoilers, so this is the spoiler part, so if you have not seen it, go watch the movie and come back and watch this. Spoilers, obviously, in the first 20 minutes, the boy winds up going into the hole in the ground, gets replaced by a doppelganger. They're like tick alien creature things that take over current humans and try to react like them, kind of take their place. So the boy gets replaced by a creature, and the creature starts to stalk the mother and starts to try and, I guess, steal her soul or bite her or whatever. We don't know if they're vampires, aliens. We have no idea what they are. That was not defined very well. The creatures also didn't look all that scary, but they did build tension. So tension was good, but the design of the creatures and stuff just wasn't that great. And we've seen the whole doppelganger thing 1,000 times. It was done much better in Jordan Peele's Us this year, amongst many other films like it. So the kid winds up being evil. She winds up going down to the sinkhole to try and save him. She finds him, rescues him, and at the end she lives in a house full of mirrors, because mirrors are the way to tell if your kid is an actual kid or a creature. So happy ending with a little bit of an ambiguous mirror ending, thinking he's gone back to normal. So all in all, again, very strong points in the acting and most of the film, but I just felt it was kind of took a bunch of old tropes and did not recreate a lot of new ways about it. So I wasn't huge on this film, but it also wasn't bad. If you guys have seen The Hole in the Ground, tell me in the comments below what you think. Am I being too hard on this genre? Did you guys get taken out of the ending like I did, or what did you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. And if there are any other recent movies you guys want me to review for 2019 for the drive-in, please let me know. And also go check me out again at PopHorrorcom under Jason Burke. Plenty of articles there and plenty of articles coming. I will see you guys soon.